So if you remember in class, we talked about interest rates. We did a problem where interest was compounded annually, so once a year. So what happens when interest is compounded more frequently, more than once a year? So when you have an annual interest rate, of I, and it's compounded M times per year, the interest rate paid per period is, well, you take your interest I and divide by the number of times it's compounded. So let's look at an example here. So let's say we have 3% annual interest that's compounded quarterly. This would be, well, I over M. So I is your interest rate, 3%. M, if it's compounded quarterly, that means 4 times per year. So you would divide by 4 and get 0.75% interest paid per quarter. So that would be your interest paid per quarter. Now remember, we were looking at these scenarios with recursively defined sequences. So if I use P sub k for the amount in the account deposited at the end of the kth period. So remember, we had this formula where PK, it depends on how much you had in the account the previous time plus the interest you earn. So you can factor out that PK minus 1 out of there. I just factor it off on the end, and this is our formula if you're compounding more than once a year. That would be our recursively defined sequence.